Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Flosstube number. No idea. Could be 8, could be 9. I'll figure it out later. It is. What time is it? It's just after 8 o'clock. It is. I'll tell you in a minute. It is 13 minutes past 8 on Wednesday, the 12th of February. So, welcome. Hello to everyone that has come back for more. Hello to anyone who's tuning in for the first time. Thank you for all the lovely messages. And I love reading them. And some of them we get into a bit of conversation, so that's nice as well. So last time I did the dreaded whip parade, didn't I? Just look at my fringe, it really needs cutting. I'll sort that out later. Yeah, so we did the whip parade last time, and I promised you that we would do the roll the dice ones this time. What I am going to start off with though is 5 and 5. So I've been really good. I had a weekend away in Wales and saw the Cheshire Stitches on Saturday, which was lovely. And I get loads of stitching done at the weekend. I'll explain all about the journey and everything afterwards. But anyway, let's crack on with this. So, I may have shown you this before, I'm not entirely sure. So this is the first one in my 5 of 5 for February, and it is the Blue Tit bookmark. Who's it by? It's Textile Heritage Collection. You normally get these in buildings which are run by the National Trust here in the UK. So like stately homes and stuff like that. So Sam, the lovely Sam, gave me this one. And the minute I saw it, I went, oh yeah, because I love blue tits. They're one of my favourite little birds. And I get a few coming to buy bird feeders in the back. So apologies if I am repeating what I've already shown you, but this is where I've got to so far. Started this at Knit and Natter, I think, which was on the 1st of February, so you may not have seen it. I may just be talking through a hole in my head. That wouldn't be anything new, really. So yeah, this is just the start of it. I haven't got very far with it. There was an awful lot of chatting going on that day. So I will get back to that in March. I'm just trying to make sure that I've got everything in there. Let's stick that in there. There's also many bits in it. I really should put it into a little project bag, but I don't have one available at the moment. So I'll just make do with this. Let's shove that in there. Just shove it in, as you do. Shove that in there. Let's get this. I'll make the opening a bit wider. And I've got all threads in. There we go. As long as it's all together, that's the main thing, isn't it? So there we go. That's it. All in there. So that's that one. So the next one I tackled was this one. No, it's not. It was this one. And this one is the winter sampler. No, that's the bookshelf. That needs to go upstairs. Right, okay. So this is winter sampler, and I will just call it up here for you so you can see it. Ding-a-ding-a-doo. I'll just make that slightly bigger so you can see it. There we go. So, get there. So this is the winter sampler. It's by Crocchetto Go-Go, who's an Italian lady. Her designs are gorgeous. And I know I've said this before, but I always give out a big thank you to Stitching Bunny, who showcased this on her very first Flosstube, and I totally fell in love with it. And it is just gorgeous to stitch. This one I started, it was my New Year's Day start last New Year, so that would have been New Year 2024. And I didn't make a very good start at it. I had a tiny little bit of the central wreath. Did about 10 stitches in it, and that was all I did for an entire year. Picked it up again this year and decided I was going to make some inroads on it. So in January I managed to finish the wreath, barring the little flowers round the inside of it, and look where I've got to now. The wreath is finished, and I've got a squibble, and I've got the head of another squibble, and there's a strawberry in there too. I am so pleased with this. I'm just loving it. I am absolutely loving it. I think this is my new favourite piece at the moment. It's just absolutely gorgeous. It's stitching up beautifully. The threads are just your box standard. I shouldn't really say that. Just your box standard. I said it again. It's just DMC. That's all it is. Quite muted colours. I think the brightest in there is Christmas red, which was on the strawberry. There you go. You can see it. Yeah. And it's just lovely. I just absolutely adore it. So I can't wait to get back to this in March. I really can't. It's definitely taking over my stitching life at the moment. But that's natural. So I'm stitching it on my favourite Joberlin in bone, and as I say, it's the called for DMC, and it's just gorgeous. I can't get enough of it at the moment. Oops, squeak. Okay, so that's that one. Next is this one. And this is, it's a seasonal sampler, and it's spring. Whoops. And it's My Little House Needleworks. Go. And I started working on this today, actually. It's the first time I've picked it up. I took it with me at the weekend, but it didn't get any love because I was too busy giving lots of love to the winter sampler. But anyhow, this is where I am with this. So I've got this border, which is looking at it. It's the left-hand border, and I started the house in the centre. I did that today while I was we were having a craft group meeting at work. I was working from home today, so I just dialed in. So I'm hoping I've got 5 days on this, so I may get that house finished. I may even get more than the house done. You'll have to wait and see. But this is a really nice one. This was one that Di had given me for my birthday last year, along with the fabric and the threads. And the fabric is lovely. It's the most gorgeous Zweigart linen. And it's really, you know, some Zweigart, some linens, not necessarily Zweigart, can be really quite harsh, quite stiff, and this one is just lovely. It's stitched using Classic Colourworks. Quite a nice palette there. It's greens and yellows and reds. It's lovely. And my little black cat, courtesy of Tarina. There we go. So number 4 rather, I can't count. I'm useless. So number 4 is Spring Awakenings, which will be done when I've done my 5 days on Spring Sampler. And I'll just call this up for you as well. There we go. It's so gorgeous, this one. And there we go. Oops. Spring Awakenings. And this is Stitches Through the Years. Again, the most gorgeous, gorgeous charts that this lady does. Absolutely beautiful. So I haven't touched this since January. So as I say, I will get a little bit done on this once I finish on the Spring Sampler. Come on, just stick that needle in there at the moment. And there we go. This is where I've got to on this. Still on this middle border. Hopefully I will get this. Don't keep saying hopefully, Ali. Be positive about this. I will get this border finished in the next, when I pick this up. And then I will move on to whatever's next. Probably going down the way. I always go down first and then I stitch back up again. Sorry, I keep getting distracted. I've got the tennis on over there. And the lovely Diego Schwartzman is playing what is probably his last tournament in Argentina. This is his last year playing professional tennis. Bless him, he's lovely. But anyway, back to the stitching. So yeah, just got to finish off these bits here. So I've got 1, 2, 3 of these acorns or whatever they are. Get them done and then get started on another bit of the chart. So in fact, if I have a look, let's see what's next on the chart. Right, okay, so I'll just make that a little bit bigger. I wouldn't, there's another border. Let's get this so you can see it. Come on, there we go. So there's another little border just under what I'm working on just now. And then we've got some flowers. So yeah, I think I'm going to keep working downwards. And then I can start on the main border and work that up to the top and then start working downwards from the top. But as I say, it is such a lovely, lovely chart. I just adore it. So watch out for some progress on this the next time I post. Now this version of Flosstube is actually Sundays. I ended up staying an extra day in Wales at the weekend. So I had Monday off, but I got in on Monday and didn't feel particularly well, so I ended up spending the day in bed. Great way to spend your day off, isn't it? Anyhow, getting back to this, it's done on the bone Jobelan again, and it is using the called for colours, which are all DMC, and they're all in there. So watch this space for an update on that. Yeah, I keep batting on about this weekend that I had through in Wales. Went through to visit Di for the weekend, and we went to what's that in? Have I put that in the wrong place? I have. Sorry, I am a numpty. Yes. Oh no. No, it's in the right place. Just ignore me. Oh, that's a bit confusing. Yes, so spent the weekend through at Di's, and it got off to a very eventful start. Excuse me, I need to blow my nose. Got the sniffles again. Not as bad as I had them a couple of weeks ago, but yeah, it's a bit annoying. Okay. So yeah, I was on the 5 minutes past 2 train on Friday, and unbeknownst to me, because I hadn't seen anything, I don't really think I was watching the news or listening to the news before I left, but some very kind drunken driver had driven his car in the early hours of Friday morning at speed round a roundabout, crashed through a concrete wall, and ended up upside down on the railway line just outside Salford and Manchester, which meant that chaos ensued for the rest of Friday. I got to Bradford Interchange railway station, and the train was advertised as only going to Manchester Victoria. And when I queried it, he said, "Oh yeah, there's been an incident, but I think," said the guard, "they're putting on a rail replacement vehicle for everyone." Right, okay. So on the way there, I let Di know what was happening. She checked and she said, "Oh," so that told me what happened. Julie arrived in Manchester, lost my connection, could not get connected at all. All the Northern Rail people in Manchester could tell us was there is a rail replacement bus being laid on, but they didn't tell us where it was going, whether it was going to take us to Chester, or whether it was going to take us somewhere else, or what was going on. So we went outside and we stood and we waited and we waited and we waited, and eventually it turned up at about 3:30. Bearing in mind I should have been getting into Chester just after 4 o'clock. And apparently we were told that it was going to take us to Newton Le Willows. And I thought, well, that's not where I want to go. But anyhow, then somebody else told us that there was a train to Llandudno, or Llandudno, and I apologise to anyone in Wales. I can't pronounce the Welsh names very well. So just as I was getting on the bus, I had felt a tap on my shoulder, and I turned round, and a BBC journalist shoved a microphone under my nose and asked me if I had any comments about the delays and was it affecting my journey in any way. So of course I was like, "Oh yes, massive, massive. It's making a massive difference to my journey. It's causing me no end of problems," and I let rip a bit. And then I just turned around and got on the bus, and I thought he'd said that it was going to be on the local news, and I thought, oh, they won't use that. So anyhow, we get to Newton and Willows, and we stand around, and stand around. It was freezing. We went into the little waiting room, and we waited and waited and waited. And eventually this train turned up at 5 past 5, and we all piled on. I'm still trying to get Wi-Fi to let Di know what was going on. And the Wi-Fi on the train was useless, and that's in the words of the guard, or the ticket inspector. Got to Chester about 10 to 6, which was nearly 2 hours after I should have been there, and asked around, and they said the best place to get Wi-Fi is in Costa Coffee, and I thought I need a coffee. So I went in and spoke to two lovely chaps, one of whom made me a coffee, and the other one got me onto the Wi-Fi, rang Di, let her know where I was, and she said, sit tight, I'll be there in 15 minutes. So she arrived, picked me up. By this time I was well and truly worn out, as you can imagine. And we had been going to go to Di's and then order in a Chinese, and we decided we'll just pick it up on the way home. And just as we were drawing up to the Chinese, Di's phone rang, and it was her mum. And she said, have you got Ali yet? And Di said, yeah, she's with me now. And she said, well, she's just been on the national news. And then my phone started pinging all over the place. People going, have I just seen you on the news? So, yes, it was me, Mrs. Disgruntled from Bradford. So that was my 5 seconds of fame. And if anybody wants an autograph, I'll give you one for a fee, and a fee will go to charity. So yeah, so that was my eventful trip through to Wales at the weekend. The rest of it was good. We just stitched the weekend away. Spent all day Sunday just stitching. And that's how I managed to get such a massive lot done on the winter sampler. It was lovely to see the Cheshire ladies. I may be seeing some of them next month. In fact, I may be seeing quite a lot of them next month, at one point or another. But yeah, it was a lovely weekend, and as I say, I got home on Monday and I just slept. It's just getting too much for me, all these travelling about. Right, I'm going to put these down here, and let's move on to roll the dice. So I've got my trusty book with all of them there. So first one is Cat Lovers, number 1. This is not the order that came out in. I don't have a clue what the order was. You'd think I'd pay attention, but I don't really. So this is Cat Lovers by Jardin Privé. Beautiful design. I love the Quaker element to it, and of course it's black cats, and of course I have a little black pussy of my own now, little Shadow. Don't know where she is actually. Should be around somewhere, probably upstairs. But yeah, so I got a fair bit done on this. I saw Lois at the weekend, and she's also working on this. She's done way more than I have. But hang on, I will just anchor that because I've got a thread halfway through. There we go. In fact, put it up there, Ali, out of the way. There we go. That's better. So there we go. This is where I've got to. You may have seen this already in my last Flosstube. It's nice to get some of the wording in. That little butterfly was an absolute joy to stitch. So lovely. The flowers in this, in the Quaker bits, are a mixture of those pinks that you can see there, and also the blues, one of which the butterfly is done in. And it just makes it look so fresh. It's so pretty. So that is Cat Lovers. This is going to continue in Roll the Dice. I may shuffle my, where they are in Roll the Dice. I don't know, that I may just leave them. Obviously, one is definitely coming out of there because the bookshelf is finished. I may drop out one other that's in there. I'm still swithering about that. That would leave two places for something else to go in, and I already have an idea for which one of those would be. Yeah, I'll have a think about it. I just left the order as it was in 2023, but we'll see how it goes. Anyway, that's been stitched on a nice cream linen. I think it's the Swigart linen, 28 counts, and it's using the called for colours. As you can see, the blues and the pinks in there. So we'll throw that in there. So that's the one. Just put that in as well, haven't we? There we go. So that was number one. Okay, so just plonk that down there. Okay, number two was Maggie the Messmaker. And I took this on holiday with me in May. Didn't get a great deal done, but I did sort out the little problem where I had gone wrong on it. So if you've never heard of Maggie the Messmaker, and who hasn't, this is she. Gorgeous big black and white puss there, sitting behind a sewing machine. I think that's everybody's idea of a crafting room, isn't it, or a stitching room. This is a Charles Wisocki design. He also did Frederick the Literates, Two Pooped. There's a couple of others that he did. But I remember the first time I saw this and I thought, oh yeah, I've got to have her. So I did, as you can see. So I swapped out the Ada that was in here, and I swapped it out for a slightly off-white even weave. And this is where I've got to. That little dog, the majority of that was, or at least started while I was away on holiday. Finished it off when I got back. Really pleased I got that done, actually, because I feel as if I'm getting somewhere with the pattern. The big white blob in the top is full of confetti stitches, and I'm literally doing that a confetti stitch at a time. So I do a couple of them, and then I move on and do another bit of the charts. It will eventually get finished, that little bit, but I don't think it'll be anytime soon. I'd gone slightly wrong on the plant stand, but as I say, I got that sorted out and made inroads on the little doggy, who is actually a tape measure. You can see his tongue, just sort of, his tongue comes out there and it ends up down there. So yeah. Been stitching on this for quite a while. I took it away with me to a retreat I went to in Wales a few years ago, and one of the ladies that I was with, that little bit there, I'd been working on that bit, and she looked at it and went, "Oh, that looks like a dead mouse," and it put me off doing it for ages. So, words to the wise: if you haven't got anything nice to say about someone stitching, don't say anything at all. Right, moving on. We have Enchanted Mermaid, and here she is. Now, she has been in my Roll the Dice and also in my 5 and 5 for the last year and a bit. She sort of get put to the side a little bit when I was working on the bookshelf because I was desperate to get that finished. I'm desperate to get her finished as well, so she will come back into 5 of 5 just as soon as I can. Obviously, I'm doing a small in the form of the bookmark, and I'm also doing the spring sampler, which is fairly small, and probably won't take me that long to do. So the mermaid will probably slot in there. So let's see. The fabric is sparklies, and it is called Cancer. Lovely hand dyed by Kate. And oh, she's upside down. Hang on a sec. Right. Here we go. There she is. She's quite a big lady, really, isn't she? She is lovely, though. I've mostly lately been working on the tail, and that's coming along great guns. So I'm getting close to finishing that part of it, and I will then move over to the other side, where her knees are, I suppose. Finish off that bit, and then I can go back and start doing the cryonics and the beading, and then she will be finished. So I'm really desperate to get her finished. I will get there. I keep telling myself I need to do it. And I had hoped to do it last year, but of course it didn't happen. Other things got in the way, I suppose. But she's coming on, and she will get done by hook or by crook. Okay. Next one is Renaissance Mermaid. And here she is. She is gorgeous. So beautiful. When you think of mermaids, you always think of their hair like that, don't you? Sort of drifting in the sea. So, where is she? She's in here. So again, I'm doing this on a Sparkly's hand dyed. Now, I think this was a fabric of the month. It was either a fabric or a month, or it was done for a retreat. But I went to see Kate at one of the... Just trying to figure out where I am. There. At the Harrogate show a couple of years ago. Told her what I was going to be working on. I had thought of two fabrics, neither of which she had on the stall, and she picked this one up and she said, "What about this?" And it almost looks like, the way it's dyed, it looks as if it's the waves in the sea shifting. And this is where I've got to with her. So she's got lots of that hair floating around, and I've started on part of her body, only a part of it. She's coming along nicely. she's got loads and loads and loads of beautiful beads in her and treasures. And I just can't wait to get moving on a little bit more. Just see some all the threads are there. Got some cryonics in there with water lilies, common water lilies. These are the beads and the treasures. So I need to get them put into little boxes, of which I have more now, thanks to Lindsay, the Cheshire Stitcher, who I saw on Saturday, and we'd been talking on the Flosstube about various things, and she said she had some boxes that she was going to be selling, and would I like them? So I now have them, and they are going to get put to very good use. So it's sitting just down at the side of me here. The boxes in these bead boxes, the little boxes, are really, really good, because you can, let me get one of my own here. So much sitting around. So when you're working on a project, all you need to do is, sorry, sorry about that. You just put the beads that you're going to be using in your project into your box. Put your label either on the front, or I've just popped them in there. I'm going to have to try and get some little labels that I can put on there, and then just pop it into your project bag. And then you've got them all there. They're really secure little boxes. You have to give them a bit of a click and a pull up to get them to open, and then they snapshot really well. So they're just really, really good, and I absolutely love my bead boxes, as you are no doubt aware. And if you're not aware of that, where you been? Just put that back over there. So I'm going to have fun with my new boxes, sorting them all out. So I'll just put that back there now. And Renaissance Mermaid can go down there. I'll sort this box out later on. Right, next is Wind Moon Fairy. I can't even remember where I first saw this. I came across it on the internet, I think, and it took me a while to track it down. I did, thanks to Charlotte, who is stitching with the kids around, and got it ordered, and it came winging its way over from America, and she is just stunning. And she's got a little black cat. There's getting to be a bit of a theme in this stitching, don't you think? I'm getting filthy looks now from Bam, because she's not black, she's calico. So this is being done on Winter Skies, another sparklies, a lovely cape. And I did manage to get quite a bit done on this when I had this out early last year. It was. Where are we? There we go. Yeah. There we go. I know it doesn't look a lot, but it is getting there. I sometimes find with the daylight lamp and working on the iridescent fabric, sometimes it sort of blinds me a little bit. I find it hard to get my eye in, if you like. But perseverance wins the day, and she will get worked on. And I know of at least one person, Stuart McCook, that has fallen down the rabbit hole with this one. So, as I say, she is beautiful. I have seen her as a diamond painting. But I didn't want to do a diamond painting. I wanted to do the real thing. And at the time, I don't know if it's still the situation, but you couldn't get it as a kit in this country. And I don't think you can get it just as a chart. So that's why it had to be ordered from America. But I've got it, and she will get worked on and worked on until she's finished. Why is that sticking there? There we go. There. So there we go. One of my project bags from Shell. She is pretty. It's going to be a long night. Right, next one is the carousel. Okay. I think you're all getting to be quite familiar with this one. So, let's see if I can get, there we go. So, this is the carousel. Lovely design from a painting by Faye Whitaker. And actually, I'll fold it over like that. That's a bit better. There we go. Oops. We've got a chap with a blazer. We've got a little lad in a sailor's outfit. We've got a little baby who you can just see round the corner of her big brother. And we've got the startings of Mummy. So we are getting somewhere. And not a gorilla in sight. That one's for Tammy. Again, so near but so far with this one. Just when I think I'm getting somewhere, I get distracted, which happens a lot. I'll get that back in a minute. So, there. Right. We're halfway through. Quick slurp of tea. It's probably gone cold. Oh yeah, decidedly warm. Right then. Okay, so this one is honeybees. It's her fleur de lis kit. And it was gifted to me a long time ago on one of the groups that I used to be on. This was back in the days of Yahoo groups, if anybody remembers them. So this one is, let's see, I'll just pick that up there. That's the design. It is quite a pretty design. I wasn't sure of it when I first got it, but it has definitely grown on me. And I used it as a round robin. So the people in the round robin group stitched the top part, all the little symbols and the words at the top, which left me with the bit at the bottom, the picture frame and the bee and the flowers. It is coming on, and I did a little bit of it last year, or whenever it came out. So there's the bit at the top, all nicely done. And here's the bit at the bottom. So I've just got these flowers to do here at this end, then the bottom of the frame, and then there's some words at the bottom of that, and then a lot of back stitching in the roses and the bee, and then it'll be done. Easy peasy. Yeah, right. But it is nice, and the colours are lovely, and I do like bees, and I love honey, so we will get it done eventually, she said, hopefully. And I'm doing that again. I swapped out the fabric that was in the chart, and I'm doing this on bone jobelan, which, as you no doubt have realised by now, is my go-to. If I want something neutral, I always turn to bone jobelan. I just like jobelan as a fabric, it's so lovely. Right, don't move. Okay, next one is Yoda's Hill. Oops, which is in here. There we go. This is Yoda's Hill. It's by Diane Graebner, who is an artist in Ohio, and she paints and draws the Amish people in America, and it's a lovely design. And I've got a lot of Diane Graebner's charts. So I'm actually doing this on a piece of hardanger fabric. Let me fold this up. There we go. Be easy to show. There we go. That's where we've got to. It would be nice to get that tree finished. And then after the tree, there's... what else have we got? Just looking to see where we are. There's some little lasses on a sledge after the tree. So, been working on it for a very, very long time. And it's a bit of a labour of love for me. And I will get there eventually. I've actually still got a piece of the fabric, because there is another design by a Diane Graebner which I have, and it's quilts hanging on a washing line. So where this one is quite long and thin, this one goes this way, and it's quite thin, and this piece of fabric I'm keeping for that. I would hope that when I do get around to doing that one, I get along with it a lot quicker. But there have been certain obstacles in the way of this one over the last few years, and I'm only really in the last year or so really starting to work on it again. Okay, so the next one is Roses of Provence. So this is my third Mirabilia in my roll the dice. And there she is. Very elegant lady. She's got a bit of a bustle going on there. Bambi agrees with me. But yeah, it's a lovely, lovely design. So I'm doing this on Misty Morn again, which is sparklies. Lovely, lovely lavender, very pale lavender fabric. I did quite a bit of this last year when it came out. It's all just bits at the moment, isn't it? It doesn't really, you can't really see whereabouts in the picture it comes, but it will all start to make sense eventually, I hope. Otherwise I'm just stitching and not getting anywhere really, am I? So we'll see how we go with this one when it comes out in the next roll the dice, which starts in March. So this is, as I say, been switched on Misty Morn and using the called for DMCs. I'll just pop that in there, bag. And we have lovely, lovely beads. So those need to be decanted into bead boxes as well. All using the called for DMCs. We're nearly there. Right, so number 10 is Ever Flowering Garden. I've written it down here as Everlasting Garden, but I think it's Ever Flowering Garden. Let's have a look. It's Ever Flowering Garden. It's by Al Forrest Embroidery. There we go. Massive, absolutely massive piece of embroidery there. But it is pretty. I'm doing it on a piece of 28 count fabric called, whoops, it's called Pemberley. It's by Needle and Flax, and it was gifted to me by the lovely Gina Kimball, and this is quite as far as I've got so far. I've actually got this on a hoop because it is such a massive piece of fabric. It's a whole fat yard that's here. And there's a bit of thread there that you can see. There it is. What are you doing in there? So, I mean, it will look beautiful when it's done. Just don't hold your breath very much, will you? So I'm doing it on the called for DMCs, and this one may be rested for a year. I'll see how I go. She may come in and out, you know, if I want to spend an afternoon up in the craft room, because I tend to just work on this one up there. And I use that Nerge. Remember the Nerge? Yeah. because I have got a straight back chair up there, an old dining chair, that means that I can sit properly. So she may get some love this year, but I don't think I'm going to include her in Roll the Dice this year anyway. We'll see how she goes. You never know, if I get something in Roll the Dice finished, she may make an appearance. Watch this space, as they say. I'll just pop that in there, get it in. I folded it up all nice, and then I'll have to squish it in here. Come on, get it. Maybe to get a bigger one. Whoops. Plunk. And last but not least is Nantucket Rose. She's number 12. Number 11 was the bookshelf, which, as we all know, is finished now. So here is Nantucket Rose. Beautiful lady. She's my Anne of Green Gables. And my friend Jo, through in Sheffield, is galloping along with this, so I've got a way to go to catch up with her. I had looked at some green fabric, green 28 count, to do her on, but then I decided that I wanted to do it in blue. Jo is doing it on blue, so I got some new fabric last week, and this is it. This is Jovelin, and it's called Eggshell Blue, and it is absolutely gorgeous. I absolutely love it. This could be my new favourite Jovelin, but I better not say that out loud because the bone Jovelin will get upset. But it's absolutely beautiful, and I got 1/2 metre, so what I have left I can use on other designs, and I have no doubt that I will use them. So this is my Roll the Dice for this month, and once I finish Spring Awakenings, I will be getting started on this. May take it to Knit Natter next week, which is on the 22nd, and I forgot to put threads in. Right, what are these the threads for? Oh no, those are the threads for... Hang on, there's all the thread down there as well. What's that thread doing down there? This all belongs in here. Also, all making a bit of an escape. So yeah, I shall be working on this month. We'll be making a start on it just as quickly as I can once I've done my 5 days on Spring Awakenings. So yeah, so that's all she wrote for this month. We've got a couple of minutes left before the hour is up, and I've tried to do this twice. I keep forgetting about it. I was showing you the odd picture that I've had framed, and this is a lot of firsts, this one. I'll show you first. Try not get a glare. There we go. This was a design in, I think it was in Cross Stitch Collection, back in late 80s, early 90s. It was the first one that I kitted up myself. It was my first project on even weave, and it was the first one that I had professionally framed. So a lot of firsts in there, and I absolutely love this. It's very sort of Art Nouveau, I think, more than Art Deco. But I love the colours in it. It's just beautiful. And those two little bits down at the bottom of the alphabet, they almost look like swans. I know they're not, but they do look a bit like them. So there you go. Right then, your hour's up. So I am going to go and warm up another cup of tea, go and watch the last of the tennis, and I will see you all a week on Sunday when I will be caught up and back to my normal Sundays every 2 weeks. So thank you for tuning in, thank you for watching. Again, thank you for all the messages, and I'm going to sneeze. Chew! Sorry. I will see you all soon. I'll see you all later. Bye.